Now we're starting to get somewhere. Right? Groups of feathers, excuse me. I'm still thinking about the crane from yesterday, but same principles. Groups of feathers, groups of hair, groups of fur. Groups of fur. All right, starting to look like something. Starting to look like something. And again, I chose blue. I don't know. Snow monkey, snow, winter. We're still in winter here. Picked up my dad. He's a bit of a snowbird, so came a little early for a family event, and he lives in Miami for a good part of the year. We're here in the New York City area. So when he got off that plane and we got to the car, he was like, "Oh," he couldn't move. He almost froze in place. He almost, he almost froze. I shouldn't laugh. He almost froze in place. All right. You have some hair going straight back here. And then right off again, the eyebrow. Right along, look, that's right along the forehead. There's hair going there. There's hair coming back here. And then right along the forehead here, see, again, there's hair going there. And then we have hair going off the corner of the brow. Right down here. And I'm just darkening the lines as I go, reinforcing what I know is there. Getting a bigger layer. Of textures. In between, so this doesn't look so blocky. A little less blocky. So you can still see some of the lines in there. And the wash is creating its watermarks here. Again, outside left to right, outside in. Let's get my face out of there because we don't really care about that right now. Right? At least I don't think so. This bottom area here. This is thicker. Interestingly, this is not bleeding as much as I thought it would, but I'm also using a thinner brush, which is okay. Because if it washes away and I didn't want it to wash, I can't get that back really. I'd have to draw over again. Which is okay. I mean, look how far we've gotten without from where we were. was all, when it was all geometry, when it was all like this, remember? Like this. Let's quickly look. We start out pretty much like this, and now, halfway through, about halfway through, we're here. All right, so this here, I'm going to be careful because there's a lot of white here that I want to preserve. And then there's this is the contrast that I'm going to get. So between here, just like drawing between the lines. Just draw between the lines. And the biggest challenge is going to be, leaving those whites and just going back and forth into those darks so that the whites really pop in terms of the fur. And again, I don't know if that's going to be later on when I get more texture. In terms of more texture with a ballpoint pen. That might be my secret weapon today, is the ballpoint pen. Okay, now I am gonna take the smaller brush for the face because I want to keep a lot of that feeling of the folds. So I'm in here. Actually, I need to be careful because the area around is pretty wet. Again, going outside it. It's getting pretty quiet. Now that's starting to look like folds. A little even more. Be careful not to do overdo it. I don't want to do, that's why I'm not using the bigger brush. I don't want to obliterate and go completely across and over the lines where you don't see the stain of them. So I use a big brush, then it's one big line instead of all these nice little textured watermarked lines. Here, I'm gonna get that darker. So there, I went over a little bit. Ooh, okay. Let's go back. There's something that I don't like about it. There's just a little too much white here. So that's going to be an area that I'm going to do some texture. I don't know if that's, again, hatching. Here we go. Now, let's get into the other eye. Oh, these are regular shapes. They're not correct, but because I had a decent base, a decent foundation to my drawing, that geometry, it gives it the illusion that it is actually correct. Only we will know. You and I are the only ones that are going to know that I had absolutely no idea. I know nothing. I knew nothing of monkey anatomy. It's all a ruse. Yeah, so let's see. This is the just chilling. I did a sandhill crane yesterday, and that was the mantra: birds of a feather chill together. I'm so corny. It's following the contour of the head and where the fur sections of fur or hair, it's technically hair, are coming out from the bones, the brow, the side of the head, the forehead. So they're all like sections instead of one big giant like hat or hoodie. There we go. Do you like watercolor? Have you ever attempted watercolor or pen and ink? The reason why I got into pen and ink is because I really love fountain pens, and I needed to justify why I had the amount of fountain pens and ink. So that's that's partly why I started drawing with fountain pens. It actually started out as I was trying to find the perfect pen, and of course that doesn't exist. And about a dozen pens later, I still didn't find the perfect pen. It's more what I feel like using, and that is why I have a small compact used car because it all goes into art supplies and pens. Paper. Oh my goodness, paper costs so much. I spend so much money on paper. Oh, crazy. Okay, so here we go. Let's go up here. I don't want to forget. This is actually getting cropped closely. Okay. Breathe, breathe. Remember to breathe. I used to hold my breath and not realize it when I was drawing. Yeah, it's fun. Watercolors are fun. They're hard. They can be hard, but they can be fun. Say hard, but let's call it challenging, depending on what you want to accomplish. I don't know how much this is coming through the camera. Fruits and plants, let me tell you, fruits and plants are hard. Our model had a last minute cancellation yesterday. We paint from a model in one of my classes, and the model had a last minute cancellation. So one of the students went and grabbed a plant that was her mother's plant. The plant, I don't know too much about plants, 60 years old. The plant was 60 years old, and we used that to do to watercolor study. And it was hard. The instructor's like, you're going too detailed too soon. Don't use those colors. Let's go, let's go. It's like the artist I work with, she is like it's like going to the gym. It's like those Peloton commercials that they're like, you could do it. Let's go. Come on. Hilarious. She's awesome. I'm so lucky to work with awesome people. Okay. All right, where else are we going in? One of the ways I learned how to draw was actually drawing peppers, and sometimes I still do it. I'll go to the supermarket, and not the peppers that are like perfect that they have now. You know, you get them in a pack and they're all exactly the same size. They're all like rounded cubes or whatever, like actual peppers. Those are awesome to learn to draw from. They're really hard, but they teach you so much, whether you want to draw people, structures, whatever it is. It has kind of all the forms that you want to learn: cylinders, cubes, all that stuff. The way they fit together, the ribs of the pepper. It's kind of like how muscles fold into each other. So if that's something you want to do to draw well, That's a nice sneaky thing to do. Is use a pardon me. Sorry, I got lost in my own map. What were we talking about? Peppers. All right, peppers aren't that important, but they are important if you want to learn how to draw. I think so. My opinion, my personal opinion. You want to get good at drawing. I still draw from them, and I can't tell you right now. I still stink at drawing peppers. All right. Excuse the squeaking here. Okay. After this, I have a little bit of a decision to make. And that is if I want to do another wash. Onions and bananas. Onions and bananas were the biggest enemy. Yeah, and watercolor, that stuff. You know what it is? It's because when you're painting something that you think is one color, so let's say, for example, an onion, a Spanish onion, whatever, yellow onion, it's that light gold type brown. So you're like, okay, that's it. It's one color. Done. And then you realize, oh, that is not one color. The banana is not one color. It's got a whole bunch of colors in it. Even the bananas that aren't ripe. It's tough. It's a challenge, but it's fun. You take a breath. It looks like a ball of dirt. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. Color is a challenge in and of itself. And one thing I try to do is, you have to look at it for a little while, especially when you see like different light. If you put like a warm light, a yellow light, a big bright like fluorescent light, you'll start to see the different colors. One thing that's good, just a quick, when you have, let's say, trying to get an example here. If you put a light up, see like this, my palm of my hand looks really red. Why? Because it's right next to a blue, but it's not that red. If I get closer, or maybe, let's see, it starts to get a little blander. Sorry, it's not a beautiful palm, but you get the idea. But since we're here, now everything all of a sudden looks really red. And it's a question of comparison. What color is next to what color? And that is a hard lesson to learn. I don't know it yet, to be honest with you. I definitely have not completely learned it, let alone mastered it. It is a tough subject. Tough thing to learn. And it's one of those things that you just have to go over and over again. You can't really just look through a book and, oh, I learned it. No. The color wheel? Yeah. The color circle thing. That's exactly what it is. But once you start learning that and you get to learning how to mix paints, oh my goodness, that feeling is just, I remember when I start like looking at paints in different colors and having a good idea of what it's going to look like before I mix it. Oh my goodness. Talk about like sweet victory. Sweet victory. Still have trouble though. Not gonna lie. All right. We have a lot of texture going. could probably. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going, and I think what I may do is, let's see. I'm deciding whether I want to bring in a ballpoint pen or just stick here. Probably gonna want another layer of dark, so there's more contrast, and it shows the snow monkey's gray hair with snow in it. I guess that's why I feel for this monkey. I have a kinship with the monkey because it has a lot of gray hair like me. My family, we're all susceptible to early gray hair. Not that I'm not that early, but younger family members started getting gray hair when they were 15, 18. I looked out. That, yeah, a lot of people quit after the apple. A lot of people quit after the apple. Did they make you, or did they have you do an egg first? That's usually the fundamental one. Let's get these wrinkles in here in the face. Get this eye out. Yarn? I've never seen that before. Yarn? That's the first time I've ever heard of an art class where they had you do yarn. Never heard of that before. I honestly have to say. You know, I don't blame you. Yeah, that's tough. Yarn. That's so much texture. I don't know why they would do that. I mean, the egg is hard enough. That's yarn. Good grief. Oh, good. You said that, and I was like, I wouldn't be able to do that. I would have quit after the yarn. Forget about the apple. All right. So I'm not going to go over every single, use the brush over every single individual line. Now it's about going through the ones that are the darkest, where the darkest areas are going to be. leave that. Let's make sure I get around the eye. I appreciate that. They'd probably be better patrons, I'm sure, if they had money. Honestly, if they offered me a membership in their family and a ticket to Japan, so I could soak in their hot tub in their hot springs, I do it in a heartbeat. I do it. I take commissions and everything. I'll draw your whole family. Just let me hang out with you, please.